A strong economy is the source of national strength. That is a quote from listener of the show, Yoshihide Suga. And we're going to all become Harvard-level economists today. But first, let me welcome to you my favorite economist, Alex Johns.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Alex, I've known you since middle school.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. That's what I've been told by myself. And I can say that my favorite thing about you, other than your silky smooth skin, milky, creamy, smooth skin. Alex is nodding. He knows.
Keep it coming. Keep it coming.
Other than that, my favorite thing about you is how worked up you get about the government sucking.
Oh, man. Is this going to be one of those episodes?
It's going to be one of those.
Oh, God.
I'm going to give you a chance to talk about how governments suck.
Okay.
And we're all going to become more educated in the process. Alex, let me read that quote from the start once again. A strong economy is the source of national strength. Do you agree?
No, I don't agree.
Okay. What do you think is the source of national strength?
I mean, I would
Butts?
say...
Hot dogs?
Yeah, butts, hot dogs, all great. Peanut butter. Peanut butter production per capita. Number of people shitting in the streets.
Whoa, we want that down.
Over people, right. We want that down. I don't know, just
ratio
general
down.
happiness, like, are your citizens happy? Are your citizens, fed, housed, clothed?
How do you get rich on all that shit?
Exactly. That's the problem.
Today we're going to talk about the top 10 strongest economies in the world.
Okay.
Which are the largest countries based on the GDP. Alex, what is the GDP?
The good dick percentage.
And I got to tell you, last time I took a GDP test, I had a hell of a high percentage there.
Hell yeah, brother.
Hell yeah. My sources, Investopedia, Statista, Wikipedia. Alex,
well,
tell
hold
me
on. What does GDP stand for?
You don't know what it stands for?
Global... No.
Nope.
I don't know. I mean, I know what it is, but I don't know what it is.
Do you know what one of the words is? What is one of the words?
GDP. Domestic? D is domestic.
Do you know what it is, even if you don't know what the words are?
Gross domestic.
Gross domestic. Pickle? Peanut butter? Panther?
Fuck, I don't know. What's P?
Patrick Star? It's product.
Oh, product.
Gross domestic product is the market value of all final goods and services from a nation in a given year. GDP is popularly used to estimate the size of a country's economy and its impact on the global economy. It's most commonly measured by using the expenditure method. I know I can fucking hear everybody snoring already as they listen to this. I'm almost done. Just hang on. It's measured by using the expenditure method, which calculates GDP by adding up spending on new consumer goods, new investment spending, government spending, and the value of net exports. It's a long way of saying it's basically the total amount of money spent in a country.
So by the citizens and by the government. Just
yes.
Put all that together. What does that spend? Okay,
yes.
Good to know.
The countries on this list have various populations, politics, trade agreements, and demographics, all of which play a factor in how their economies and therefore the GDP perform. Those countries considered to have emerging or developing economies account for almost 60% of global domestic product, while advanced economies like the United States make up 40%. Global domestic product.
What is 40%? The
developed countries?
No, but like 40% of what?
Of the global economy.
Global
if you were to add
economy.
up all
Okay.
countries in the world, yeah.
Got it.
And global gross domestic product. So again, adding up all the GDPs in all the countries in the world, that's 110 trillion US dollars. And the number one country on this list, which you'll guess shortly, it makes up more than 1/4 of the entire global domestic product.
Goddamn.
Okay, this list uses nominal GDP in US dollars, and it's as of January 20.
I'd like the list to be in francs, please.
I can't do francs, but I can do, what is the fucking Russian currency?
Rubles.
Is it? Yeah, rubles. I can do that because we're owned by Russia at this point, so we might as well start using their currency. What country do you think is a safe bet to not be in the top 10?
I'm gonna guess Jamaica.
Now, why are you picking on Jamaica?
I don't know. They're small. They're a little island down there.
And so you think everyone that lives in Jamaica is small and little and stupid and fucking
Every
idiot.
last one of them.
Wow, I can't believe you said that.
You know?
Jamaica is a great country. I love all of our listeners in Jamaica. And you're right, they're not on the list.
Costa Rica, probably not on the list.
Okay.
What was that country that we were shitting on a few lists ago? Fucking,
Oh, in the
you know
like
what I'm
corrupt
talking
countries?
about? Yes.
Yeah, what was that?
Oh, it had such a fun name to say.
Sudan or
No,
something
it wasn't
like that?
Sudan.
Oh, I know the one you're talking about. I can't remember what.
It's two words. Something. It was like
Stop it.
a descriptor, and then something.
Now you're gonna make me look it up.
Something Guinea, Equatorial Guinea.
Yeah, that was it.
Equatorial Guinea. Fuck you, Equatorial Guinea. You are not on this list.
No. What do you think is like? What's a big country that's not on this list?
I mean, probably Russia, right? Because like they got fucked by like sanctions by all the reasonable.
All that's
countries.
going the fuck away.
Yeah, I mean from us at least, but like at least Europe's still going to have them on sanctions.
Russia's number 11. Despite all of that, as of 2025, Russia is the 11th strongest economy in the world.
That is incredibly surprising.
And they're mostly self-sufficient. Like,
yeah, I heard like when all of like the Western companies backed out, local Russian companies swooped in to like essentially steal the equipment, right? So like Coca-Cola left town, but they left their factory there. So Russia came in and is now like producing a Russian version of Coca-Cola in the Coca-Cola factories.
Might as well.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's do the top 10. What countries, without naming number 1 yet, what countries make up the top 10 largest economies, the highest GDP?
I'm going to guess Germany at number 6.
Why 6?
It just sounded nice.
Is it because it's the devil's number?
Well, it's because, Germany, the G kind of looks like a 6 a little bit.
Stop it. Nope.
Yeah,
stop.
Okay.
Number 6 is a European country, but number 3 is Germany.
3? Wow, look at that.
3. High. Yeah, higher than I thought, too. $4.9 trillion in nominal GDP, US dollars. Their biggest exports: vehicles, machinery, chemicals, and other manufactured goods, and they have a highly skilled workforce. It is Europe's largest economy, so there's a hint.
Okay.
Germany, however, faces some demographic challenges to its economic growth. Its low fertility rate makes replacing its aging workforce more difficult, and its high levels of net immigration strain its social welfare system. It's funny, half the country wants America to not deport immigrants, not do the mass deportation that Trump's been promising. Yeah. Where in other countries, they're pretty unified in wanting the immigrants out of there because it strains their social systems.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in America, we barely have any social systems to give,
And they're all on the chopping block, too.
Everyone's like complaining like we're spending all this money on the immigrants, and it's just like they're really not getting anything from there. In fact, they're paying in to taxes that they're not able to take out from.
Alex, this sounds like extreme
leftism
liberal
propaganda. I know it, but it's posing an interesting problem in Europe too, because I mean, sure, we've got the rise of our far right flank in the United States here, but like Germany, for example, their far right party, I think AfD is what they're called, secured the most votes like ever since like Hitler was in power way back in the day. And they're like not enough votes to like, because they actually have a reasonable government, right, where you could like there's multiple parties, more than just two parties, and they form coalitions and stuff. So they're not like the number one, like they're not in charge, but they have the most support that they've ever had, and they're continuing to grow. And fucking Elon Musk has like gone over there to support that party to like grow the far right movement in other countries too. So
I know you were to Europe last year. Did you go to Germany?
I didn't. I've never been to Germany.
Is it because you hate Germany?
No, I'm.
Is it because you're still grieving over World War II?
I've got quite a bit of German blood in me, as a matter of fact.
And how many German people did you kill and eat to obtain that blood?
Just 2.
Okay, that's fine. Any more than 2, we would have had a problem. 2's fine.
Right.
So what else in the top 10?
Show me France at number 6.
You're stuck on 6. You're going to keep guessing 6, aren't you?
Maybe.
France is 7.
Fuck.
A nominal GDP in US dollars of $3.3 trillion. Tourism is an important industry, and France receives the most visitors of any country per year. And we covered that on episode 234, the most visited countries.
You know what's funny is like locals in France, in Paris particularly, fucking hate tourists. But like it is literally what's propping their country up.
Yeah, that's the biggest industry there. France is a mixed economy that has many private and semi-private businesses across a diverse range of industries. However, there's still heavy government involvement in certain key sectors such as defense and electrical power generation. The French government's commitment to economic intervention in favor of social equality also creates some challenges for the economy, such as a rigid labor market with high unemployment and a large public debt relative to other advanced economies. Your thoughts on
Interesting.
France? Do you hate them as well, like you do Germany?
No, I'm a huge fan of the French people. They're your primary, like, if they don't like something their government's doing, they're gonna fucking protest and shut down the city and burn down Paris until the government does what the people want. It's great. I wish we had more of that here. But I like France. I didn't really have a great time in Paris when I visited. I don't know, just better places I enjoyed more. But
Did you
as a
go
whole,
elsewhere in France besides Paris?
no, we were just in Paris the whole
Yeah,
time.
me too. I've only been to France once, and it was Paris.
Yeah.
And we got there a day and a half late due to travel delays, and it rained the whole time we were there,
Mhm.
and then we left. But we did enjoy it. Highly recommend the catacombs for anyone down there.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I mean,
Did
it
you
was
do the
fun.
catacombs?
No, we didn't do the catacombs. We Eiffel Tower, Versailles,
Yeah.
all the Mona Lisa, all that stuff. But here's a story that I've never told probably anyone that I'm about to share to all of you.
Does this involve
listeners.
chopping off your brother's finger at a campsite?
No. I
Okay.
mean, that did happen once. I shit my pants in France, in Paris, as a matter of fact.
Why? Just
Uh,
because you wanted to? You made yourself do it?
for fun, for the experience. No, so God, this is so fucking embarrassing. We were,
I didn't make you do this.
we were eating like French food, right? Which is like, I mean, the food's fine.
French's mustard, French
It's
fries.
not what you're normally eating, right? And so we're on like one of those tour buses. It's like going around the city, showing you different sites, and I got to take a shit, and it's coming, and I don't really have any
Oh, no.
any stopping it. And so I tell Marjorie, my wife, I was like, we got to get off at the next stop. So we do. And I pull up the little phone to see where the nearest bathroom is. It's
and
a 10-minute walk some direction. And I'm just holding on for dear life. So I just take off running, and I've like text her like, hey, here's where I'm going. I'm running in Paris trying to get to this bathroom. I get there. There is a fucking whole horde of children, like 30 children from like a classroom, all waiting in line to use this one bathroom.
Oh my God.
So it's that moment when I stop where it all came out.
It happened.
It happened.
And then what happened? You went the rest of the whole trip wearing the same pants?
So I waited in this line for like 30 minutes for all these fucking kids to go through and use this bathroom so then I can go in the bathroom and clean up. Meanwhile, these kids were so interested in us, they'd come up and be like, bonjour, bonjour.
Oh no.
And I'm just
They
like,
could tell you were tourists.
no kids, no, don't.
Alex, what is happening?
Oh,
Is this a real story?
It's a completely real story. I got in the bathroom, I cleaned up, we went back to the hotel, I showered, threw away those clothes, and never spoke of it again.
Until now.
Until now.
Until thousands of people, including maybe some of those children in Paris, listening now.
Yeah, if you were a
confession.
kid like 2 years ago, a year and a half ago sometime, and there was a strange American that did not want to make contact with you in front of a bathroom, I just want to apologize.
Poor Marjorie had her tour cut short so you could go shit your fucking pants
She did.
next to a bunch of innocent children. What's wrong with you?
Good times.
Should have shit in the river.
Should have shit in the street.
Yeah, see, if you had time traveled right in that moment when you were waiting for the bathroom and time traveled you back just 200 years, you could have easily shit in
I'd
the
be
street.
just
No one
fine.
would have fucking batted
Nope,
an eye.
nobody would have cared, right?
No,
But
nobody would have.
we got like
noticed.
fucking public decency now.
No, all those people would have been lined up next to you shitting on the street.
Yeah.
No, but
Anyway, sorry for that little diversion.
one of the many huge benefits of time travel is that.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we knock out the rest of Europe since we're here?
Okay. 3 was Germany. 7 was France.
Yep.
Is that what you said? Speaking of France, sorry to stay on this topic. Germany you think of for manufacturing, right? You think of like
And
they make
Hitler.
cars. And, yeah, Hitler, sure. Wait, what? Volkswagen, I think, is the German, right?
That's German, yeah.
Yeah.
BMW.
You don't really think of any industries with France, and you mentioned it.
Tourism.
It's primarily a tourism country, but that just seems tough to get all the way to the 7th most GDP on tourism alone.
Let's
So
see
clearly
what
they got to be making something.
the largest exports in France include aircraft, cars, pharmaceuticals, and wine.
What cars are they making? I could see pharmaceuticals.
Fiat, isn't Fiat French?
I don't know. Maybe.
That might be Italian, actually.
It sounds
French.
Italian.
French automakers. That includes Bugatti.
Oh,
I see
Yeah.
a bunch of cars that I don't think are here in America.
yeah, makes sense.
There's like 15 brands of car that they make in France, and I haven't heard of any of them besides Bugatti.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Bugattis are nice cars. So cool.
Yeah, if you're a bitch. If you're
Oh
a fucking
God.
bitch, it's a nice car.
Okay.
All right. Give
So
me another
next
European guess.
European guess. I'm
Another
gonna
country,
guess,
preferably that you shit your pants in. What other countries?
Gosh, there's so many to count.
Yeah, name one.
Italy,
Okay, is Italy higher than France?
number 6.
It's number 8.
I'm gonna get it one of these days, and you're gonna be like, "Wow, look at this list guesser."
I will not do that. I promise you. $2.5 trillion in US dollars for the GDP in Italy. Their largest exports include fucking pepperonis, pizzas. I'm joking. Packaged pharmaceuticals, cars, petroleum, vehicle parts, jewelry. Significant portions of their exports also include machinery and equipment, electrical and electronic equipment, and food products like pasta and processed tomatoes. Italy's economy and level of development vary notably by region, with a more developed industrial economy in the north and underdeveloped southern regions. That's what I remember hearing that when we were there. Parts of Italy are like a developing country still. It's
Interesting.
weird. Italy faces persistently sluggish economic growth due to a very high public debt, an inefficient court system, a weak banking sector, an inefficient labor market with chronically high youth unemployment, and a large underground economy.
Oh, that's interesting. So, in my real job, we are buying some automation equipment from an Italian company, and so like my project manager is Italian, like he lives there and everything, and they're great to work with. Really smart people, know their stuff. They produce really great equipment. So, anyway,
Have you thought about where in Italy you will shit your pants when you go?
I've been. I did not shit my pants.
Oh, okay. You pissed
I
your
went.
pants.
No, I don't think I did. No, not here. It was a
You should've
college trip. I did like a study abroad over spring break type of thing.
I was friends with you at the time, and I have no memory of
it. It was a week for spring break. I paid for it. Yeah, it wasn't a huge long thing. I'm glad I did it. I saw a lot of cool stuff. Being like it was part of the Department of Engineering, and so being that it was like sponsored by that, we went and saw a lot of like industry. So like we went to like a cigarette manufacturing company, and we got to see all like the automation for like how they package the cigarettes and everything. It was kind of cool. I mean,
contrast that to
cigarettes.
when I went to Little Havana in Miami, which is like huge Cuban population.
Yeah.
And they took us to where they make cigars. And they literally, a guy rolling cigars with his fingers, and behind him is a huge pile of cigars he's already rolled. Compare
That's
that
hilarious.
to
Yeah, this is all automated. It was very clean facility. Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah. Did you fuck anybody while you were there at the cigarette plant?
I did not fuck anybody at the cigarette plant, but thank
fucking
you for
prude,
asking.
Fucking prude bitch. All right. So where else? There's only one more European country on here.
One more European country. Let's see. Are we considering the United Kingdom European?
What else would you consider? Would you consider it fucking Australian?
Well, they're not they're fucking EU anymore, so
they're in Europe.
I mean, I guess, but like, fuck them.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry, I misread. They're actually in Africa now. I forgot. They changed their allegiance to Africa.
Oh, gotcha. All right. Well,
what
I'm gonna
number
guess
is the United Kingdom.
The United Kingdom is number 6.
You got it, and I'm not going to spend any time talking about you guessing.
You
number
fucking
6.
give me that.
3.7 trillion US dollars.
Out of all 10 numbers, I guess number 6 right here. Give me that.
You guessed it 5 times before. 6 times before.
Fake news.
Well, see, that's the thing we're learning about the world these days is if you just say a lie enough times, it becomes the truth.
Becomes the truth.
Enough people to
and
not
it's
matter.
Whoever's speaking the loudest is the truest.
Well, Alex, how many times did you shit your pants in the United Kingdom?
I have never been to the United Kingdom.
I've never been, but I'm going this year.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. The United Kingdom, their economy is driven by a large service sector, particularly in finance, insurance, and business services. The nation's extensive trading relationship with continental Europe has been greatly complicated by the resolution of Brexit after the 2016 vote to leave the European Union. And as of January 31st, 2020, As Alex said, the UK is no longer a member of the EU.
Stupid
So
decision.
what are they a member of anymore?
They're not a member of fucking shit. They're just an independent country.
You're against that?
I don't know. The EU brought so much like prosperity to the region as a whole, right? Like the fact that like any EU member can travel to any other EU country free, open travel is great. Opens up so many possibilities for employment, job opportunities. You don't have to, think about like now as an American, like if I want to go get a job in like Canada, even though it's right next door, you got to go through all these hoops and hurdles and get your green card or
Even
whatever
more
that
now.
looks like. And now, yeah. But over there, it's just like I'm a French citizen, but I want to go work across the border, and I don't even know what France borders, Germany or something. I'm gonna do that and take my train over there and go. Super easy.
The UK, number 6. So now you can't guess number 6 anymore. What are you going to do now? You won't know what to do.
I don't know. I'll figure it out when it comes to it. So we're
All
done
right.
with Europe.
We're done with Europe.
Sad. I was hoping that the Netherlands would be on the list.
They're not big enough.
Yeah, love it.
If
over
you're talking
there,
about happiness or efficiency
Yeah.
or living a long time,
Yeah.
that would be great. But as far as raw dollars,
money makes the
money,
world
money,
go
money,
round.
money.
All right, so we're out of Europe. Let's go ahead and guess. How about India?
India. Where's India? And if you say 6, I'll fucking kill myself.
9.
Did you say that because it's like an upside down 6?
I did.
No, it's actually closer to 6. It's number 5.
Fuck.
And India has a very low per capita GDP, the lowest, in fact, on the list. But there's so many people there that it makes up for it. 4.3 trillion US dollars in GDP. India's economy is a mixture of traditional village farming and handicrafts alongside booming modern industry and mechanized agriculture. India is a major exporter of technology services and business outsourcing. Think about anytime you call customer service for a company, you're fucking talking to someone in India.
Yep.
They're also, the service sector makes up a large share of its economic output. Liberalization of India's economy since the 90s has boosted economic growth, but inflexible business regulation, widespread corruption, and persistent poverty pose challenges to ongoing expansion. Have you been to India?
Never been to India.
All right, let's do a quick recap. You're missing 10 and 9. 8 is Italy. 7 is France. 6 is the United Kingdom. 5 is India. You're missing 4. 3 is Germany. You need 2 and 1.
Show me Australia at number 9.
Australia is number 13.
Fuck. All those kangaroos can't up the
Wow, okay.
GDP?
We're not doing a kangaroo joke.
What's wrong with the kangaroo joke?
Are you saying that the kangaroos should be like working the cash register at fucking McDonald's?
They fucking are bipedal. They got their hands, like they're strong, they're fit. They could be
they can put extra shit in their pouch.
They could be like a great warehouse worker. They need to tap that untapped potential of exploiting the kangaroos.
Have you ever thought about what a weird fucking animal the kangaroo is?
It's so weird.
I love kangaroos,
Yeah,
but they're like this super buff, bipedal, huge ears, huge fucking tail, like the strongest tail in the world.
Just like a little guy.
It is. And a pouch. Do you know if, you probably don't know, but I wonder if kangaroos have been observed using their pouch for utility.
For like
other
snacks.
Than like, yeah. I'm going to look it up.
I bet. I mean, what else? Why wouldn't you? It's there. I'd put fucking snacks in it.
Do kangaroos put things in their pouch? Kangaroo pouches function exclusively as baby containers.
That's it?
No, kangaroos primarily use their pouch to carry their baby joeys, which are very small when born, providing a small and safe, warm environment for them to develop until they are mature enough to live outside. They typically don't put other things in their pouch.
Again, untapped potential there. Train a population of kangaroos to perform menial labor and utilize their pouches for extra storage of whatever menial labor they're doing.
You're just asking for capitalist pigs to fucking abuse kangaroos.
I'm not talking about pigs. I'm talking about kangaroos.
All right. What we should do instead is find a way for humans to evolve to get their own pouch.
Ooh, now you're onto something.
And now when you're at work and you got two hands full of shit, put something in your pouch.
We're all joeys now.
Although only the lady kangaroos have pouches.
It's true.
Do the male humans have pouches in this scenario?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's like nipples, right? Like I got nipples, but they're not used for anything, right? Same concept.
I mean, my nipples are used for all kinds of things, but if you
Oh,
say so.
baby.
You know, I figured out humans don't need pouches like kangaroos have pouches. We just use our fucking ass. Just shove something up your ass if you need storage. So people
Yeah,
do at the airport when they
yeah,
got drugs up their ass.
yeah. That's how I sneak snacks to work.
Okay, we're done with that. So kangaroos in Australia,
All
mate,
right, not on the
number
list.
13.
The Tinnish podcast has more than 300 episodes now, and, well, that's a lot. Too many, in fact. Stephen Clark here with a pro tip to make things easier for you. Instead of endlessly scrolling through the Tinnish podcast feed on your podcast app trying to find one that stands out enough for your next listen, instead, open up your browser and go to tinnishpod.com/episodes. There you'll find the Tinnish Podcast Episode Guide, which breaks down all 300 episodes by topic. Looking for an episode covering a top 10 list in history? Or maybe a top 10 list in music or true crime or animals? There are dozens of topics to choose from, and when you select one, you'll get a filtered list of episodes under that topic. Or, if you're less picky about the topic and the sidekick host is a little more important to you, you can filter episodes by sidekick host. So say, I don't know, just a random example here off the top of my head, but let's say you're craving more Stephen Clark episodes. Just tap my name, and you'll see all of the episodes I've been on. It's easy to use, will save you a bunch of time finding the next episode for you. Try it out now at tinnishpod.com/episodes or just tap the link in the show notes.
Well, here's a curveball. What about Brazil?
Why is that a curveball?
Number 9. I don't know. I just don't really feel like any strong economies are in South America, but if there is one, I'm sure it'd be Brazil.
You're right. Brazil is the only South American country on the list, and it is number 10.
Okay.
You know, I read that just yesterday. I read scrolling through Reddit or something that Brazil's is so big that its northern tip is closer to Canada than it is to its own southern tip.
No.
That's what it said.
Fuck you. No. All right. I'll
And
pull
it
up
said
a
its
map.
it said its eastern border is closer to Africa than it is to its own western border.
That is fucking bullshit. I'm pulling
It's
up
true.
Google Maps right now.
Well, you got to remember that the maps are not necessarily proportionate to reality.
The fuck you talking about? Some flat Earth bullshit?
No, no. Like Africa's actually, I think, bigger than it is on a map, but they make it smaller to fit better.
God damn. Do you see how fucking big Brazil is?
That's what I'm fucking talking about. You're sitting here calling it bullshit, and I told you it's big as fuck.
Okay, I kind of believe it now. That is huge. I didn't think it was that big.
I believe it's the biggest country by area outside of US, Canada, China, and Russia. I think it's the 5th biggest.
Well, goddamn. All right, tell me more about Brazil.
No.
Okay.
Now you hurt my feelings.
Okay.
You didn't believe me.
I didn't know.
Brazil is number 10 with a 2.3 trillion US dollar GDP. Their diversified economy runs the gamut from heavy industries such as aircraft and automotive production to mineral and energy resource extraction. It also has a large agricultural sector that makes it a major exporter of coffee and soybeans and butts. Brazil is the 10th largest economy in the world and the largest in South America. It emerged from a severe recession in 2017 and suffered a series of high-level corruption scandals along the way. In the wake of these events, Brazil instituted a series of major economic reforms intended to rein in public spending and debt, invest in energy infrastructure, lower barriers to foreign investment, and improve labor market conditions.
You didn't mention the BBLs, prime exporter BBLs.
Wow.
Oh,
yeah. Brazil.
South America.
The only South American country, yes.
All right, so I got a few left. Is Canada on the list?
Do you mean Canada?
The 51st state of the United States. Yes, yes, yes.
Canada's on here. What number?
Number 9. You got to give it to me. You got to give it to me.
I'll give you that one.
I fucking did it.
I'll give you that one. Canada's number 9 with 2.3 trillion in US dollars. Canada has a well-developed energy extraction sector with the world's 3rd largest proven oil reserves, while it also has an impressive manufacturing and service sectors based mostly in urban areas near the US border. Canada is this huge fucking country. I believe it's the 1st or 2nd largest country by area and like 95% of its population lives within however close to the U.S. border.
Yeah.
Canada's free trade relationship with the United States means that 77% of Canadian exports head to the U.S. market each year. That's changing. Canada's close ties to the U.S. mean that it has developed largely in parallel to the world's largest economy. Spoiler. For more on Canada's economy and their exports, I did a full 10-minute tiny 10-ish episode about Canada's largest exports back in November of last year.
I bet maple syrup is on that list.
It fucking was. I love Canada, and it makes me sad to see them be bullied.
Me too, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
I know it's not on the list, but I'm just curious. Is Mexico in like right outside the list?
Let's do the 11 through 15. Mexico is number 15.
Okay.
13 was Australia. 11 was Russia. So there's 2.
What was 14?
Missing. Well, I'm going to ask you, what are some major countries that aren't in the top 10 you think might be right outside of it?
Oh, that is a good question. Well, here, I'm just going to give you a guess. Saudi Arabia.
Good guess, but no.
No, it's not. Okay.
I bet it will be in a little while.
Yeah.
They're making some big moves.
It's
over
growing
there.
fast. All right. So I'm saving 1 and 2. I know what 1 and 2 are. What else do we... Oh, I bet Japan is on the list somewhere.
It is. Before we go to that, let me reveal. So again, 15 Mexico, 14 Spain.
Spain. Oh, I forgot about
13
Europe.
Australia, 12 South Korea.
Ah, okay.
11 Russia.
Okay.
And Japan.
Japan number 4.
Japan is number 4 with $4.4 trillion. Japan's largest exports are cars.
Nintendo,
PlayStation, fucking all the good shit in the world comes from Japan. All of our favorite shit, Pokemon,
anime,
Mario, anime. It's all Japan.
Weebs.
Huh?
Weebs? Weeb, Weebs.
The fuck is that
Never
shit?
heard of a weeb? It's like
Are you saying made up words?
It's like an American that's like obsessed with Japanese culture, a weeb. I think it's short for like weeaboo. I don't know.
Weebs. A derogatory term for someone who is obsessed with Japanese culture.
Yeah.
The term is short for weeaboo.
Okay, there we go. See, I know stuff.
Not really.
Remember when what was it? Jake Paul went to the suicide forest in Japan and made fun of it, and
that was
there was
Logan
a big scandal.
Paul.
That was Logan
His
Paul.
brother.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck that
well,
guy. Fuck them
he
both.
was he making fun of it for being a scandal?
No, he posted like
he showed a dead body on
and his
YouTube.
thumbnail. Yeah, it was like, oh, I'm so scared. You know, like
Yeah, and that got huge backlash.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right. Fuck them boys.
Yep.
Also, Japan is known for their global automotive industry, and with
Toyota.
the U.S., China, and South Korea are their main export destinations. Strong cooperation between government and industry and advanced technological know-how have built Japan's manufacturing and an export-oriented economy. After the lost decade of the 90s, which was like a big recession there, Japan has seen an uptick in growth in recent years under the policies of former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, listener of the show.
Didn't he get fucking shot?
I don't know. Did he?
Yeah, I think he got like shot in public at a public address at some point by like a 3D printed gun.
You do know stuff.
Am I right?
Hang on. He was assassinated while delivering a campaign speech. The suspect, Tetsuya Yamagami, confessed that the assassination was motivated by Abe's ties with the Unification Church.
You don't really think much of a religion in Japan, but I'm sure it's a thing.
They're big for cults out there.
Oh.
All right. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole just yet. But yes.
Japan's cool.
They're poor in natural resources and dependent on energy imports.
Yeah.
Especially after the general shutdown of its nuclear power industry following the 2011 Fukushima disaster. Japan has also struggled with a rapidly aging population.
Yeah. No one's having kids. Everyone's growing old.
We talked about that on our Biggest Generations episode, how the boomers here in America and in Japan and other countries, the population of old people is larger than it's ever been, and the systems in place are not enough to compensate.
Who's going to take care of them all? Yeah.
I don't know.
So, got like a 45-second spiel for me right now. Japan's cool. They're really great at like manufacturing efficiently. And so I studied industrial engineering in college, and we took like a whole bunch of courses on
Nerd alert.
Japan efficiency. Specifically, they invented the Kaizen system, which is like this rapid manufacturing efficiency system. Lean Six Sigma, which is kind of a way to measure the amount of defects you get like in a operation. There's a lot of really cool stuff that has been implemented over in American manufacturing, which I work in, that originated over in Japan. So that's
Well, and when you say work in, you mean work in quotes, right?
yeah. I don't do shit.
How many times have you shit your pants at the manufacturing facility you work at?
Never, ever.
You're regretting telling me that story, aren't you?
No, I'm an open book.
So what
I
I'm
would,
hearing
I would
from
tell you and the listeners all of my deepest, darkest secrets. In fact, we'll get a top 10 list in the future of just all of Alex's most embarrassing moments. I'd thrive.
That's a great idea for a bonus episode. 10 most embarrassing moments. Let's do that. But your love of Japan means that you are a weeb.
Fuck you. Never say that again.
There is a neighbor of Japan in Asia on this list.
I know the other two. It's fucking
Prove
China and the United States. I'll give them both right now.
All right. Which was which?
So for now, I'm sure China's 2 and the United States is number 1. But with Trump just keeps on his bullshit, I could see those spots shifting at some point.
The bullshit Trump is doing now will affect America for decades.
Mhm.
China is number 2 with $19.5 trillion in US dollars. Their largest exports include electrical machinery and equipment, including computers, vehicles, plastics, furniture, bedding, lighting, prefabricated buildings. A large portion of China's exports are compromised to manufactured goods like electronics, computers, and automotive parts. Its economy has seen historical growth in the last 2 decades, causing some economists to speculate, like Mr. Johns here, that China may overtake the US as the world's largest economy in the future. As China has progressively opened its economy over the past 4 decades, economic development and living standards have greatly improved. And as the government has gradually phased out collectivized agriculture and industry, allowed greater flexibility for market prices, and increased the autonomy of businesses, foreign and domestic trade and investments have taken off.
Have you seen their fucking electric cars?
No.
China, I think the company's called BYD, or the car is called BYD. I don't know. BYD is in there somewhere, but they make these electric cars that are like fucking beautiful, beautiful cars. They have such cutting edge, high tech technology in them, and they're like $15,000 US dollars. So cheap and amazing. And they export all over the country except for the United States because the United States fucking banned Chinese car imports.
Why?
Because
we take all kinds of other shit from China.
Exactly, because they don't want to compete with the big 3, Chevy, Ford. They basically lobbied to say, don't sell Chinese cars here. And so now we don't. Which sucks because the cars are great. Like, a bunch of people in Europe are buying them and they look awesome. I'd fucking buy one.
That's because you're a Chinese puppet.
Weeb.
You know that China is the world's number 1 exporter, period.
I believe it. Crazy
Everything comes from
manufacturing
China.
there.
It's like a running joke. Like you pick up anything around you in life and you turn it around upside down and it'll say made in China on it.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And yeah, they are the number 2 economy for now. But listen to this. China with 19.5 trillion. Let's just round that up. 20 trillion. Now the US has 30 trillion. So US still has a significant lead on China, but it's not cemented.
Yeah.
They're standing.
Yeah.
30.3 trillion for the US. The US economy is the largest in the world as measured by nominal GDP, which is what we've used for this whole list. The biggest contributor to that GDP is the economy's service sector, which includes finance, real estate, insurance, professional and business services, and healthcare. Global domestic product amounts to almost 110 trillion US dollars, with the US alone making up more than 1/4 of all GDP in the whole world.
Yeah.
And that kind of shows you how US currently is able to kind of throw its weight around because a lot of economies depend on the US.
Right.
It is the world's dominant geopolitical power and can maintain a large external national debt as the producer of the world's primary reserve currency. And the US economy is at the forefront of technology in many industries, but it is facing rising threats in the form of economic inequality, rising healthcare and social safety net costs, and deteriorating infrastructure. Alex, sum up the US economy for me.
I could go on and on
Please.
about deteriorating infrastructure.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's the only infrastructure I see.
Okay, here we go. You know how the Trump's fucking spiel, make America great again, right?
Of course.
I can agree with him in the fact that America used to be great when we taxed our fucking billionaires. Right after World War II, which is the time period, allegedly, that they're like referring back to as like the golden age, right? The reason it was the golden age was because we were taxing corporations and highly rich people like a huge percentage to fund the government, to fund programs that helped everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And now, just year after year, we've done an episode, right, on like tax rates or something.
We did. The corporations that pay the least in taxes.
Exactly. Just year by year, they're just getting slashed. The tax rates are getting slashed. And I mean, it's
now
like,
there's the world's richest man running the U.S. government.
Yeah.
And nobody on the right sees that as a problem. Everybody's like, sure, these billionaires have our best interests in mind. Like,
Right.
How does this happen? Like, I just don't get how we got here.
It's just like so disappointing because like we have all these like America is a truly beautiful country with the national parks and like, have got some great programs. Social Security was a great program. I mean, I don't know, a lot of just great initiatives that none of that is happening anymore because our government has been captured by the rich and the elite who don't want to fund that kind of stuff anymore.
Mm-hmm. You and I are not experts. We are not
No.
economists. We
No.
are not historians. But I'm going to ask you because you're here and you're talking to me. What does the future of America look like?
It's tough to say, man. Right?
Of course it is. Of course. And again, me and Alex are not claiming to know any more than you, listener, but
we
just
we
for
are
the sake of discussion.
we are in the early stages of not even early. We're in the mid stages of a fascist regime takeover. Half the country refuses to accept this. Half the country is cheering that their side won, right? Their side,
That's all that matters is winning.
Yeah, it's all that matters. It's like a football team, right? Like, oh, my team won this time, haha. But like, meanwhile, like their way of life is just getting stripped out from under them because billionaires want to pay less taxes. So it's tough. And if you look at history, right, fascist regimes don't typically last forever, but it's not a pretty sight when they relinquish power, right? I truly have a hard time seeing Trump, like, even if like the next election comes around and like unanimously people vote for the Democratic candidate, right? I don't see him relinquishing power. In his past, like it was, I don't know, that he like will throw doubt on the situation.
Do you think he will change the Constitution to allow for a third term before?
Well, that's
next
the
election?
thing is you can't change the Constitution without a, what is it, 2/3 of the states or something?
He has proven, like,
Well, yeah, he's proven that he's gonna like.
he pushes
What I'm saying
things
is
through.
like he'll probably try to do it through executive order, or have his cronies in Congress put forward a law or whatever. But like, I don't think he can change the Constitution legally within the framework that it was written, unless he gets enough states on board. And that could be a future thing of like, who's to say that all of his rich tech buddies aren't going to figure out how to rig
Right.
election
They'll
data.
rig the state elections too, and make sure that Republican governors are installed in every state.
Yeah,
Trump loyalists.
yeah.
Do you think we'll get to that point where it's like a true fascist government before? Will that happen before it's too late?
50-50, man. I don't know. It's hard
Yeah,
to
I don't
say.
know. It's hard to say.
I try not to doom and gloom about it, but
The culture
it's pretty
wars.
dire.
The culture wars in this country politically are to such a point that I feel like the right, much of the right, not all of them, but a lot of them, can never admit that they were wrong, or that they backed the wrong guy. And so I feel like even if Trump killed a priest on screen, I feel like they would say it's fake news from the liberals. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see I know.
I
what
guess
you mean.
my point is, how do you get out of this if you can't change the minds of half the country?
I don't know, but like the problem too is like it's not just Trump and the right,
Sure.
the Republicans. Like the Democratic Party also is not supporting the working class.
No, of
Like,
course not.
There is no party for the working class anymore. Both parties cater to the elite. It's just like one of them wants to allow you to keep your rights, and the other one wants to
It's that
deport and
simple.
kill all the gays.
The Democrats are far from perfect, but they are for sure the lesser of two evils, in my
It's
opinion.
clearly the lesser of two evils, but like the problem is they go out and they campaign about like, we're going to keep the status quo. You know, things are fine as they are. You know, we're going to give you a few more rights, but like there's no like economic backing behind it, right? And so then you go hear Trump, who's like, oh, I'm going to lower the price of eggs. He's not. There's nothing that says he's going to. But like they think, I mean, everyone thinks that, you know, oh, I'm going to vote for Trump because I care about the economy.
He had no economic plan either. He just
He just lied and talked shit. But the Democrats are too afraid to like.
They don't want to stoop to his level, but they might have to.
Well, and they don't want to offend their corporate backers. And so they can't say the real problem is that there's too many fucking billionaires that are hoarding all of the wealth. You got to point to an enemy here. And the right is pointing to an enemy. They're saying, oh, it's the immigrants' fault. It's the trans people's fault. It's like all these people's faults. Whereas the left is just like hope.
Well, they're blaming Trump.
Yeah, I mean, they'll point fingers at Trump and everything, and everyone will just be like, oh, this is just politics. But like, yeah.
I hate that. When people are like, oh, I don't talk about politics, or I hate politics.
Yeah.
But this shit isn't politics. This is our lives.
Yeah. Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So it's going to be a tough road ahead.
Yep.
I mean, that's all I can say to it. Hope for the best, but prepare for the worst.
And on that light, let's prepare to go back through this top 10 list. Number 10 was Brazil. Number 9 was Canada. Number 8 is Italy. 7, France. 6, the United Kingdom. 5, India. 4, Japan. 3 is Germany. 2 is China. And 1, for now, is God bless America.
You know, you didn't give me any props. I guessed every single one of those countries on this list. I didn't get the right numbers, but like I guessed every single country on this list. I didn't miss anything.
But you did. You missed Australia and Russia.
Okay, I was wrong about Australia. Russia, no,
Mexico?
I told you I didn't think Russia was on the list. And Mexico, I also said Mexico's not on the list, but I'm curious.
Look,
is it after?
It's he said versus she said. Brother,
Hey,
I can't help you.
Play the tapes.
To use a fucking dated reference. You know, kids these days and in the future will have no... What do they mean by tapes? What are you going to do with Scotch tape? Yeah. Listen to me sound like a fucking old man. I'm 35.
Okay, boomer.
Alex, this has been the largest economies in the world, and you have the largest...
PP?
No.
Poo-poo?
No.
TT?
No.
Tutu?
No. Gooch.
Oh.
You have the largest gooch. And listener, you have a large gooch too. And I want to know, if you like this episode, please consider rating us 5 stars on your favorite podcast player. And if you're on Apple, leave a written review as well. Alex, next week, I'm going to be joined by our friend, Stephen Clark. I'll have to ask him if he also shit in France. His pants.
I doubt it.
Alex, it's been great. I'll see you next time.
Bye.